welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports. We hope that you guys are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Huge show in store for you tonight. We are double guesting. Like the time that I went out to Santa Mall and my man had 240s duct taped to his hands, we got double guests tonight. Blain Crain from Crain & Company joins us at 7:30. He had a video that went pretty semi-viral in Louisiana because he called LSU soft defensively. I want him to come on here and talk about that some more. You know that we'll go around college football, all of college football with my man Blain Crain. Good to have him in here tonight. Also, Sports Illustrated Zack Nagy joins us at 7:50 following the Blain Crain interview. So looking forward to having Zack Nagy. We've been having him pretty much on every Wednesday show. So we might make my man a regular here. He's been killing it. He's been doing fantastic. Love to have him here. Oh, got to talk a little bit about Mizzou. Jay Johnson talking a little fall ball. Jay said, I don't want to talk about repeating. Coach, but we do. We won another one. We won another one. Say it with me. We won another one. We won another one. Bring us to the promised land again, Coach. Bring us to the promised land again, Coach. I love me some baseball, man. By the way, we got MLB baseball on the tube. After this show, every night I am watching. I love me some playoff baseball, man. I always have. Clint Fotno. What's up, Clint? Says, watching from my sawmill job and Arkadelpha. Probably you guys didn't think I could say that word. I'm pretty impressed myself that I said that. I probably even said it wrong. But he says, I'm from by the way in West Monroe. Good to have you here, Clint. Good to have you here, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. You know that's welcomed here. And look, man, in all seriousness, every time you guys send super chats, man, you know that we are gearing up, doing some big things over here. Going to be doing this full time here in the probably, hopefully, near future. And we do it full time anyway, but you know what I mean. Like every time you send a super chat, it helps. It helps. Dalton Matthews says I mispronounced it. So then how do I say it? How do I say it? Y'all know how bad I am with names. Arkadelphia. Right? Arkadelphia. Anyway. Jared Pedrain says, Blake, can this dub unit, or probably saying, can this DB unit get better? They can. They can. There you go. They can. Where is everybody watching the show from tonight? Where is everybody watching the show from tonight? Paul Zell Martin says midweek CUSA, Conference USA just kicked off. Yeah, you got to love it, but they got to go at 7 with us, like Rudy Poos. Spectrum Wellcare says, Blake, will Pete Jenkins help us set an edge? No. No, he will not. He can teach some things, though. Look, I know that the tweet that I put out this week on where LSU is lining up on Twitter, at Blake J. Ruffino, go give that a follow too. No, because they need to run some different things schematically, dude. Like, I don't know what House is doing. House can, look, there's going to be a day and time where some things are going to need to be said. But I think House, for whatever reason, he's got to get better with communication himself, right? Like, he's number one. And number two, he needs to take criticism better, right? Like, There are things that I hear. He's got to take criticism better. He's got to take like what he's doing, that it's just not working. It's not working. The linebackers that you had starting for you last year are not the dudes that you recruited. They're not. This catching at the offensive line is not working with this unit. You got to change. Let Mason Smith line up on the ball and say, get after it, my guy. Get after it. Stop this whole catching block, zone blocks bullshit. It doesn't work. Look, I even know that my tweet made it to my man, and that's cool and all. Brother, I played at a very lowly school. Sounds great. If you are going to allow a team to run zone blocking schemes on you, doing what you're doing is not going to work. Newsflash, just newsflash, Mizzou is going to do that. Drinkwitz already said in his press conference, he is going to do that. God, I went off on a tangent. Why do I always do that? But it's the truth. Denham Springs is in the hizzy. Titletown, Valdosta, Georgia's in the house, says Danny. Stefan says, I wait all day for this show, bro. Keep killing it. Yeah, you do. Good friends over at Fry Construction out there in Eunice, man. They do it all, brothers and sisters of Jesus Christ. They do it all. So give a call. Tell them Blake sent you on Bob. Brandon Graziano says, Hammond, Louisiana. Yeah, you are. By the way, speaking of Hammond, because I live here. Just throwing this out there. I had somebody come up to me at lunch today. And be like, I didn't want to really just say anything, but just wanted to say, hey, Blake, how you doing? Watch the show, yada, yada, yada. Guys, if you see me in public, come say what's up. I'm not going to growl at you. No, I'm not going to be what do you think I'm going to do to you? I'm not going to bite you unless you look like my wife, because I'm still staring at the titties, though. All right, last one. We really, really, really got to get going. And he's true here. I probably should have waited before I brought that up because of the end of this. But Cody McGee with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. He says, Blake, what is BK's message to LSU? And he said, after Greg Brooks' diagnosis, pray for that family. So first off, let's start here. I probably should have let off with this. But when we do the Ruffino and Joe show, I'll always make an announcement like this in the beginning of that, and I don't remember to do it here because I feel like I already said it. Man, I hate hearing the news about Greg Brooks, dude. Like, bro, he was playing football 5 weeks ago against Florida State. And if you hadn't heard the news, he had been diagnosed. Formerly, the team and the medical staff announced that he is suffered and still is suffering from a rare form of brain cancer, which does have a high probability rate of success and curability. Dr. Catherine O'Neill announced that he's got a very, very long road ahead of him. Some of his speech and some of the things that really BK. You know what's interesting? Can I say this too? Y'all know that Brian Kelly is there like every Sunday with his ass? Like, come on, dude. Like, we talk so much fucking shit. Let's pull back the curtain. We talk so much fucking shit about all this non-related bullshit, and like the dude sitting by his bedside on Sundays. Want to know why he's stressed the fuck out? There you go. Sorry for the cursing. I know this is a family show. I know we're on Fubo, but suck a dick. God damn it. I hate that for the family, man. I do. All right. We got to get rolling. Blain Crain and what's that, guys? Oh, my man's here. Okay. We'll get to him in just a minute. All right, let's talk a little Mizzou before we get rolling. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all the social media groups. Share to all the social media pages. You're listening to us on YouTube. I know a lot of you like to beat Brandon Taylor interview from last night. Very heartfelt about what LSU needs to do. Probably a lot of what Blain Crain said on his video about LSU being soft. You got to get back. You got to get back to who you were. You have to. So if you hadn't seen it, go on YouTube. It's there. Wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. And if you're watching us on Fubo TV, welcome. Let's talk about our good friends over at betonline.ag. A good friend, Tyler Alexander, over at eXp Realty. Stay with us. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
We're back. All right, before we get to Blain Crain, we'll go to him a little bit earlier than normal. I see this from Dane. He said that I am a cancer survivor. Prayers out to Greg Brooks III. Another reminder of how fleeting life can be. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Richie Evans says, I agree with MR or Mr. Taylor's mindset. Defensively, cover zero and bring the swag. Eventually, every player's mindset will be tenacious eye of the tiger. I agree with that, Richie. So let's start off there in reference to what he just said, because I agree with him. So a lot of you listen to the Brandon Taylor, former DBU, former guy that wore number 18, was a part of that 11 defense. Who, bro, they got off the bus. Urban Meyer was talking about this in Swamp Kings. He goes, and he was saying it a couple of weeks ago, like, bro, when LSU got off the bus, we were like, damn. You're not that anymore defensively. Now, offensively, the offensive line, what they're doing in the zone blocking schemes, what they've done in the interior of that offensive line, it's been highly impressive. There's nothing really – what do you want me to say to LSU offensively? Hey, you scored 3 times. You scored 21 points. The total minutes and the 3 touchdowns you had in the third quarter going into the fourth, guys, was 1 minute and 27 seconds. Let me say that again. They scored 21 points in 1 minute and 20-something seconds. But I agree with Brandon. You're going to have to find something out defensively. The tweet that you saw that we put out of the defensive line playing a yard off the line of scrimmage, wanting to catch blocks, it's not going to work against Missouri. Here's why. Eli Drinkwitz, we mentioned this last night, but Drinkwitz came out in his press conference yesterday and said, look, in translation, we run some things similar to what Lane Kiffin did last week. We like to do a lot of crossing patterns. We like to get corner routes and use bunch to get the ball to Luther Burden, who arguably is one of, if not the best wide receiver in the SEC. They're going to run mesh. They're going to run inside zone blocking schemes. That's all they do. And you know why? Because it works against you. But you need to find out. If you're Brian Kelly, you need to find out a way if this is personnel or scheme. Because when you were going down 4 line in camp, and guys, remember this. Brian Kelly allowed us AYS, Blake, my big rump, to every scrimmage. When they were going 4-man fronts, when they were sending exotic stuff at Jaden Darren scrimmages in camp, what was happening? Oh, they actually slowed somebody down. Blake, that's 6 weeks ago. I don't give a darn how long it was ago when you did things differently. Things changed. Hey, when you let Harold Perkins rush the edge, like I called 1-800-ASK-ELON. 1-800-ASK-ELON. And asked Elon, hey, man, do you think that Harold Perkins Jr. should play the jack where he played a year ago and had 8 sacks? Do you think that we should do that? And Elon took a long rip of his Joe Rogan-sized blunt and said, that might be a good idea. Thanks, Elon. I didn't even have to use AI to get there. If you're Brian Kelly, you got to find out the dudes that you actually have. Now, I got a couple things for you. Because I've been hit and peppered with the same question all week. Blake, are they actually going to do something different defensively? Yes. Here's some sourcing, deep-rooted, deep south, potatoes and meat and potatoes, rice and gravy having ass. Here's some sourcing for you. Don't be surprised if LSU comes out in the 4-man front and things start looking a little bit different. One thing about Brian Kelly that we've learned in a short 16-game span, or more than that, but like, so 14, we're 5. Okay, so 19-game span. He will get involved on any side of the ball when it is a big-time deficiency. Special teams a year ago. Guys, you muffed the opening 2 punts against Florida State. Jack Besh had one hit off his helmet on the opening kickoff against Tennessee. You had no chance of winning that game after that. Wait, they didn't do another one? And then special teams for LSU all year has been pretty impressive. Oh, because your head coach started running it? High caliber, high experience coaches. Saban, Dabo to some extreme, you know, he still has Jesus power. I will even give Lincoln some of this because of what he does offensively. Sometimes on special teams, if things have gone around and wrong, you've seen him step in and go in press conferences and talk about that. Even Jimbo, Sark is doing that right now at Texas. High caliber coaches get involved when things are going bad. Harbaugh, Kirby. Guys, remember when Kirby called the timeout because he saw something on special teams during the playoffs against Ohio State? And the truth is that timeout saved him. And that's probably a big reason why they won the Natty a year ago. You got to get involved if you're Brian Kelly. Expect more Harold Perkins on the edge. All this coverage mumbo jumbo. I'm not saying he's not going into coverage. Guys, he's the worst player in the SEC and covering passes beyond the line of beyond 10 yards or more. He's the worst. He's like rated, I think, like 14%. You know why? Because Von Miller does not go out in coverage. Newsflash. Oh, boy, what does Von Miller do go so good since it's a high comparison to him? He rushes the passer like a normal human being. We just all want to have a good glass of bourbon in the state of Louisiana and watch Harold Perkins come off the edge. That's it. The problem for LSU this weekend, though, no matter what they change, no matter what they do up front, that DB room is still a problem. It's still a problem. So when I look at Missouri and I look at them offensively, They can't stop defensively. They cannot stop a nosebleed with a tampon. They can't do it because that secondary let Vandy and Kenny Seals start smacking that ass. What's up, honey? Smack. How you doing, sweetheart? Smack. What you think Jaden and them could do? I'm not worried about that. Offensively, guys, I told you all preseason, I will continue to say it now. I think that they could be the top 3 offensive unit in this league because of what they have out wide. Everybody likes talking about Luther. Everybody likes talking about Luther, and good on them. The weapons that they have when you watch this film, and you know that we talk about this more on Thursdays on Keys to Victory, if you cannot find a way to get them off their point, what do I mean by that? Blain play wide receiver. We got a couple minutes. We'll go to him. Here, if you can't get a wide receiver off of their point or where they're trying to go, you're gonna get beat, man. You're just gonna get beat. I think LSU's got to play a little bit of keep away. Nana boo boo. You got to play a little bit of keep away. That's my opinion. And I'm sticking to it. All right. The first comment I see, Blake, did you just say Nana boo boo? It's not all I said. Conrad says Oklahoma by 1. Ooh, that's spicy. That's Bloody Mary spicy. I'm not going there. I can't do that. Kenny says LSU beats Mizzou. Yeah, I mean, they can, man. I mean, they 1,000% can. The question is that you've in back-to-back weeks, you have not stopped anybody. Guys, of the last 20 drives, we talked about this again last night. The last 20 drives that LSU's defense have had, 17 times the offense got points. You know, like, I mean, I don't care if you're holding them to a field goal in the first half against Arkansas. Points are points. Like, you were beating Bama a year ago in the halftime 7-6. That game ended in the middle 30s. It hit the over. Remember how I came in here all excited because I put $200 down on the over because I thought that Vegas was being idiots. I covered by a point, feeling like a rich man, walking like Conor McGregor in this hoe. Shit was real. All right, last one. Many blessings to the Tiger. Yeah, Conrad, I agree. Thank you so much, man, for Greg. Stinks. All right, let's get rolling. My guy. I love him. Got to ask him about the Achilles out of this break, though. My man ruptured it. See, his brother Jake, who we had on the show a couple weeks ago from Crain & Company too, said that, you know, he was doing like playing flag football. I heard the real story. He was wrestling a gator. Gator bit his Achilles right off the bone. Talk about a good friend, Carol Falls, our good friends over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, DrakeWilliamsLawFirm.com. Blain Crain next. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Falls and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Falls has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements. By the Drake Williams Law Firm, DrakeWilliamsLawFirm.com. Whether you've been injured in an accident, you're preparing for a future with your estate planning, you're getting ready to close in on a real estate deal, or you're about to welcome a new addition through adoption into your family, or you're facing criminal charges, you need very experienced attorneys, and that is what the Drake Williams Law Firm will be able to do for you in navigating the legal system.
The door to their cozy office in historic downtown Ponchatoula has been open since 1981. They have helped thousands and thousands of Louisiana families and individuals win cases, close on real estate deals, and regain that peace of mind. Their lawyers over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, are very determined, compassionate, and dedicated to their craft. It's the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by.
How's the Achilles?
I told you that story in confidence, Blake.
Did you really?
I told you that in confidence, and you just aired it out. You just aired it out everywhere, man.
No, Jake said it on y'all show.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I don't pay attention half the time. I'm going to be honest.
Okay, well, yeah, because you didn't tell me what happened.
It was flag football, dude. I'm getting old. I'm almost 30.
No, you didn't tell me. Jake said it on the show.
Dude, Aaron Rodgers is copying me. That's what's going on. He's copying. No, listen to it. Hey, had the mustache before Aaron, tore the Achilles before Aaron, and now he comes out with that video. Oh, well, I was only in the boot for 13 days. Hey, 6 days, Aaron, 6 days. Step your game up, buddy. Those are rookie numbers.
And taking shots at Travis Kelce, which is not a smart move. Call him Mr. Pfizer.
He is Mr. Pfizer.
It's true.
Yeah, he is. He's a sellout. That's what he is. He's a phenomenal football player. First of all, Taylor Swift's ugly. We all know it. We all know it. Have you seen Travis Kelce's ex? Excuse me. Excuse me.
She bad.
Woo. Just give me a shot.
Hey, I know that. So, but in all seriousness, everything's getting better though, man.
Yeah, man, I'm good. I heal faster than normal humans. It's either the genetics or the testosterone I take, one or the other.
So you weren't wrestling the gator?
I mean, I don't know. Was I, Blake? Hey, another thing. I think you're the biggest human ever to say nana and a boo-boo. I
think I am too.
I think it is. I was dying back here.
I think I am too. So Blain, when you have two kids and Coco Melon is being watched, a lot of shit I use on here is coming from kids. Like yesterday I said something about Blippi and did a whole segment about how that song gets stuck in my head. Like I can't.
Oh, dude, it's poison. You'll never get it out. It's like listening to Nickelback. You'll never get it out. You'll never get it out of your head. I mean, look at this photograph. I've been singing that for 16 years.
God, it's so true. All right, Blain Crain's our guest. So listen, we have our little board, our website, and 17 inquiries to you because of a video on your show what you had said on your show this week, Crain and Company, about LSU being soft. And you know what the sad thing is, Blain? Nobody disagreed.
It's the truth. It's the truth, Blake. And look, I'm not trying to sit out here and be the bad guy. I'm not doing that, okay? But the LSU team I watch, that shit's soft to me, all right? You're talking about catching blocks. I'm used to watching LSU people catch fades, right? Catch these hands. That's what I'm used to seeing. And there's certain things I don't want to hear. We don't have good players. Y'all got good players. Wingo, Smith. If I have to watch Harold Perkins drop into coverage one more time, I'm going to throw up. Throw up. He's an edge rusher. That's what he is. That is who he is. So at this point, and I've been racking my brain about this. Now, I went through some stats, and I know you brought up some stuff. Both your safeties lead your defense in tackling. That shit's not good. Whenever that's happening, something is going wrong. And I'm just looking for the leadership, man. The Jamal Adams, the Tyrann Matthews, the Pat Peets, these guys on LSU that used to go over to other people's sidelines and drink their Gatorade, who'd get off the bus like killers. Killers. I said this on the show. I used to be deathly afraid, Blake. Deathly afraid to watch these guys get off the bus. But now they're turning into a bunch of pretty boys. That's what they are right now. A bunch of pretty boys. If I have to be the guy, and I hope they see this because it's pissing me off, and I'm not even an LSU fan, and it's pissing me off seeing what they're putting on the field. If I have to be that guy to call them pretty boys, soft, no heart, because that's what I see. Blake, y'all gave up 700 yards against Ole Miss.
I know.
That's NCAA varsity stuff on Xbox 360. That's Road to Glory on varsity. I'm just having fun.
Right, like I'm playing FCS Southeast this week. I might as well pad the stats.
Yeah, I'm going for 20 touchdowns in one game. That's what it is.
Doubt.
I don't get it, Blake. I don't get it.
So here's the crazy thing about that, Blaine, is that nothing that you said is wrong, but how do you have these dudes that were so highly recruited still very high on draft boards?
Yeah,
that are just like, hey, man.
I just feel like they're thinking too much, dude.
Do you think it's scheme because of the thinking?
They're thinking too much. Sooner or later, you just got to let these guys play football, all right? Let Mason Smith play football. Your secondary, I've seen better communication at the school for the deaf and blind than y'all secondary are talking right now. One guy goes in motion. You thought the pyramids were blowing up. I don't get it. I don't get it, Blake.
Blaine, okay. You play receiver at the next level.
Yeah.
Okay. Please tell me that when you see that soft of coverage and dudes getting lost in the secondary during motion, my God, what are you thinking when you see that?
Thanksgiving dinner, baby. We're going to eat it all day.
Right.
All day. All day. Because it gets to the point now what you're dictating, right? As a receiver, you're dictating, right? And you know leverage early. If you know leverage early as a receiver and they're playing soft, you will eat that shit up all day.
I know. So what I feel like I know, and everybody knows what they have to do up front. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's obvious, Blaine, but hey, man, get out the bullshit you're running. Like this odd man front on 3rd and 7.
It's not working.
It's not working. Let Harold Perkins be Harold Perkins for a change. But Blaine, what did they do at corner? What do they do at safety?
That's the thing about it. What can you do? I mean, one, and Jake says this a lot, and I agree with this. Jake's a DB guy. If you're going to be wrong, all right, on a call, all right, if you're going to be wrong on a call, then everybody be wrong. Because if everybody's wrong, we're all right, right? We're all right. We'll be okay if everybody's wrong. But if one guy's running something and then the other guy's running something, we're screwed from the get-go. Because first step's communication. All right, that's what it is. And look, I know y'all lost a lot last year in the back end. But second of all, these guys aren't bad players. Blake, they're starting at LSU, dog. They're starting at LSU. All right? They're not bad players. I refuse to think these guys are that bad. But one thing you do, and I used to do this as a coach, and if they haven't done it now, I don't know. I'm sitting my ass in that film room, and I am tearing these guys apart. The one thing, you know how you get to an 8-year-old kid? You embarrass him in front of your friends, in front of his friends. That's how you get to him, all right? The whole swag stuff. Ooh, look at my sweatbands. Is this chain cool? I remember LSU kids who had to get it out of the mud, had the only option. I have to make this tackle. I have to make it to the league. But now it's just the finesse pretty boys out here. You missed 34 tackles against Ole Miss. Y'all couldn't tackle me in crutches a week ago. It's that bad. It's that bad. So what we're doing all practice, I don't give a shit if you get hurt. We're tackling all practice. We're going full all practice because we're going to find out. We called it a come to Jesus meeting. All right. We're coming to Jesus today. We're going to find out who's about it and who's not about it because you have NFL players on the defense and it's blatant.
So 2 things here and kind of congruent. I feel like Brian Kelly has to take over defensively, even though he's an offensive guy. He's called defenses before. Mm-hmm. He's the kind of guy that, like even Saban, Saban's not. People are so foolish they think, "Oh, this is Saban's defense." Saban knows what he's trying to do offensively, right? Yeah. Let's not act like be that dumb and naive. Yeah. He's got to get involved. But another thing, Blaine, on the opposite part of that, the offense, how do you dictate to half the team that, hey, guys, all of you suck. These guys are great.
And the thing about it is, like, your offense is top 3 in the nation, top 5. No. Jane Daniels is going to be a first-round pick, right? And you got to think of the quarterback depth. If Jane keeps playing like he's playing, he's going to be a first-rounder. You know why? Because he can run.
He
right?
can run,
He
dude.
can run, and he's looked so good and so calm and so comfortable and collected in the pocket, outside the pocket. And you got a Lambo here, a Maserati here, a Ferrari here. Malik Neighbors is
My God.
one of the best in the nation. All right. And this is going to be a hell of a matchup Saturday between Malik and Luther. And I can't wait for it, man. Because Luther's nice too now. They're both NFL guys.
Well, I mean, and here's another thing too, Blaine. Like last year, everybody's like, man, if he would just let it rip. Well, my God, look what's happening now that he is letting it rip. You know, like, I
think Jane just needed confidence, man. I really think he just needed confidence. I think he needed people to believe in him. And you saw Brian Kelly do that. And Brian Kelly never really got after Jaden's ass. He didn't talk at him, right? He talked to him, right?
He
and that's
did.
How coach knows his players.
Good observation.
And you know, you go back to, because I'm pretty sure after last year, whatever the hell y'all put on the field on special teams, Brian Kelly got involved in that, correct?
Right, he did.
Sooner or later, like there's a tipping point to where you're affecting my job, buddy. That's what you're doing. And if I have to come over there, because look, even if these guys coach offense, defense, they know the other side of the ball. You can coach a side of the ball so much that you automatically know the other side of the ball and what they're going to do schematically. That's just the way it works. I guarantee Bill Belichick right now could go run an offense. 100%. 100%.
No question.
And so Brian's going to have to do something.
You know what's Blaine, here's a crazy thing that this is my take, and a lot of people don't agree with me on this. I think that you got to slow the game down, though, if you're LSU. Like you're scoring 3 drives in 20 in a minute and 30 seconds. 21 points, Blaine, in 31 in a minute and 31. It's insane. Okay. So does LSU just have to kind of slow it down with Jaden, or do you just tell them, like, look, man, keep doing what you're doing. We'll figure this out.
It's so hard for me to sit here. I don't want to touch anything when it comes to this offense, right? You really just, it's going so good. It's going so good. You don't want to touch anything, but you have to win games. All right.
That's right.
That's what at the end of the day. And you're playing against a team Saturday. If you don't think this is Missouri Super Bowl, right? Even when y'all have 2 losses, it is, right? This is the biggest game there in a while. And Missouri's offense is nice. Schrader, nice. Offensive line, nice. Luther, nice. Brady, it smelled like someone cooked here, nice, right? But that defense, right? That defense, Missouri, they're okay. Their front seven's okay and stop the run, but the secondary is dog water. Dog water. So I think points are going to be available at LSU when they want them, all right? And the good thing about it is, the toughest thing to do if you want to mix tempos, if you don't have an experienced quarterback, that's when it gets hard, right? But you got Jake Daniels back there. You can put your trust in a guy like that to slow the game down, but still be on top of his game 100%. So I agree with you, Blake. Hell, you got to change something, man. You got to change something because your defense, they just can't do it right now. They just can't do it.
Well, and you know, Blaine, another thing is, even if, because Ole Miss, here's the crazy thing. Ole Miss scored 55 points. They only had 3 of them in the third quarter. LSU slowed it down, and LSU had 2 stops, right? In between there, they had a pair of stops. They only scored 3. That's the reasoning that every time LSU's done that, Arkansas, you came all the way back to win. I know you don't want to do it, but at some point there comes a time that you got to say, look, guys, Jaden, if we want to win, we got to do this. And so it'll be interesting. I want to get your thoughts, though, around college football. It is the Red River Shootout. I agreed with what you guys had to say today. I checked in, and it was like I was listening. I was like, man, I think they're right there. But for people who don't, Red River Shootout is on Saturday, 11 a.m. How do you see that one going?
For one, first of all, I appreciate you calling it the Red River Shootout. That's what it's called. Anybody who calls it Sudden, you're soft. That's what
correct.
But I think you've seen the improvement with Brett Venables on the defensive side of the ball, personnel wise, and you knew that was coming. All right, you knew that was coming. Offensively, you have Dylan Gabriel, the lefty. Tua's walking right now in the NFL, so maybe Dylan Gabriel can run one day. We'll see when it comes to that. They're a great team. All right. I don't think they haven't played nobody yet. All right. They played nobody. You know, and you look at Texas, they played Bama, right? Kansas. I don't care if the Bean kid was starting. Kansas is still a well-coached football team. Hell, Rice doesn't look bad this year either. And the thing about Texas, I think Brent needs another year to really get his personnel in there, right? They're really the guys he wants. But I think Oklahoma's on the way up, right? They're coming up. I think Texas has arrived, man. I think Texas is here. They're old up front, right? Old. Quinn Ewers lost some weight, right? Cut the hair. You add A.D. Mitchell, all right? You have Worthy. You have Brooks in the backfield. And the biggest thing when it comes to Texas, their front seven looks good.
They look really good there.
They look physical and fast. They can go sideline to sideline. They can cover in the back end. I don't think Oklahoma is going to be able to keep up with Texas. I don't. I think they'll play better. It's not going to be 43-0. All right. Obviously not going to be that. But I think Texas is a little bit better, and I wouldn't be surprised. All right. If Oklahoma starts slow in the last three matchups in this game,
they go to the Arnold kid.
Starts running away with a little bit early. If Oklahoma gets in the hole early, it's going to be tough for them to come back. I like Texas in this game, and I played up to 9.5, 10.5.
Damn.
Yeah.
Stan, I was thinking about buying the half a point Oklahoma.
Really? You like Oklahoma in this?
No.
You
know what the only reason why I do that is because this is Bama's worst offense in the last decade and a half.
Yeah.
They played JT Daniels, okay, but they play backup quarterbacks too. And I'm wondering if Dylan Gabriel can pick them apart with Levy. I'm like, this is the most experienced guy that they've seen. And I'm like, well, let me just take a little bit. Are they going to win? Yeah. Do I think that they win? Absolutely. Like, I'm not an idiot, but I'm just thinking, like, can Levy scheme something up? Has Levy seen anything? But that little white kid, the DN from Texas with the red hair and red beard, that's Texas.
Absolutely. 100%.
That's Texas.
It's not the best kid who can rush the passer with a gene deficiency. It's the best. It's the best. I'm telling you. Redheads in football are dangerous.
They are dangerous, dude. And if they're athletic, my God. All right, Kentucky, Georgia is a little interesting to me. Now, you are an Auburn fan. I would, I have heard through the grapevine. So I would assume that you had a pretty close eye on that one. I think Auburn defensively, I don't think people are giving them enough credit. They go up against A&M. They keep that close. They go against Carson Beck, who is not really that bad. People just box score look at him. So he only threw one touchdown. That dude is going to be a guy. People are down on Georgia because they won late. They had to win late. Go to Brock Bowers, the Megatron that he is, the Transformer.
So good.
But dude, Auburn is not a slouch defensively. I don't think they're giving either team enough credit here. How do you think, though, Kentucky and Georgia matches up?
Yeah, so I actually went to the Georgia-Auburn game.
Okay,
yeah.
How was it in between the hedges?
Dude, it was crazy. One of the craziest atmospheres. I don't like going to games, man.
I don't either.
I like turning the lights off, especially Auburn games, being by myself and just yelling at the TV for a couple hours. But let me say, this Georgia team, man, first of all, they're good. All right? Don't let anybody tell you they're not. But they're not. It feels like something's missing, right? It just feels like something is missing. Offensively, okay, they're banged up at running back. Their offensive line is good. They're giants, right? They move you a little bit, but not like last year. Yeah, I think Lad McConkey, he's on a snap count right now. All right, he's not really out there full-fledged. Once he is, he's a problem.
Mahonky's loose.
Yeah, Brock Bowers right now is the Georgia offense, all right? He's a freak. He's an absolute freak. And Mike Bobo does a great job of motioning him. He does a lot of the same things Travis Kelce does with the Chiefs.
Right.
Motion and get jammed at the line. But Georgia defensively, this is where it kind of got weird to me. They're big, right? Obviously, but they don't run sideline to sideline.
They don't.
They don't not run east and west that well. North and south, yeah, it's going to be tough going through the tackles. But what Auburn did was this, right? A lot of jet sweep action, right? And that started opening it up. And then you can hit them in the middle. And the things that hurt like Georgia's and the Bamas is a guy who can run at quarterback, right? Because you can't account for him almost, right? That's what I saw with Georgia. I like Georgia in this game because if you look at this Kentucky team, I know what they did to Florida last week. I don't believe in Florida. I don't believe in Billy Napier. He might be there another year. We'll see. Devin Leary hasn't been the same guy from NC State from a couple years ago. If you think, I still think 9 out of 10 times Auburn, Georgia, if that game plays again, they kill us because Peyton Thorne threw for 80 yards. 80 yards. If you think Kentucky, even with Ray Davis, but Kentucky wants to do what? Run the ball, get north and south. All right.
They ain't doing that this week.
You're not doing it. You're going to have to throw the rock. I like
Mhm.
the game. I'm still waiting for Georgia to play a complete game. They came out flat against Auburn. I mean, Carson Beck, I still think Kirby's protecting him a little bit, which is smart. And Auburn doesn't have a pass rusher. Great run stuffers, right? But they have no depth. They have no pass rusher. And you saw that Carson Beck was back there reading poetry the whole game. So I like Georgia. By the point down. It's a cover. I think Georgia takes a step finally. I think they let Carson go a little bit. And this is going to be Brock, Mr. Bowers, all day. He's going to sun Kentucky's defense, who is good, but not athletic enough to keep up with Georgia for 4 quarters.
I'm not calling Hugh a liar, but did you hear when he said that he approved all the offensive play calls this week? I'm like, bullshit. You just called them.
Yeah, Hugh. Look.
Like, don't try to get one past me, Hugh.
Buddy, okay? You called those plays. And look, I'm fine with it. I want you to call the plays. I just don't want to get into the thing of the Jimbo. Am I calling plays this week, next week? Because once you do that, that's how toxic shit starts happening in the locker room and the coaching staff. Hugh, if you want to call plays, baby, you call them. You're a dog at calling plays. Schematical.
And don't go back. Don't go back this year.
No.
So they're interesting. That their defense surprised me a lot. Because look, that's back-to-back weeks. They've looked decent defensively. All right. You know which one I got to go to. Speaking of Jimbo, why does my football brain, Blaine, say it's A&M, but my gut says don't bet A&M?
I can't do it. Saban has programmed me. All right, programmed me. All right, to not bet against them. I refuse to do it. I'm taking Bama in this game. I think. Look, I like Max Johnson. I think he's a great player. Love his dad. Max does a lot of nice things, but I think this Bama defense is starting to come along.
They are. They're good.
5 sacks against Ole Miss, right? The D-line's starting to get pressure. Jalen Milroe, he's not the greatest, all right? They need to tailor the offense more to him, obviously, and you saw that a little bit last week. Right. But you're not going to win this game, and I had got into a 20-minute argument on the show with Jake and Cone. If you think you're just going to roll his ass out of the pocket the whole game and run quick game, Texas A&M is not going to let that happen.
No question.
That happen, all right? If I'm Texas A&M, the first thing I do, you're staying in the pocket. We're keeping gap integrity, and you're going to beat us with his arm. So if I'm Bama, I'm obviously running him as much as I can, all right? But you're going to have to 3-step 5 drop him sometime, whether that's taking shots, going through progressions. Look, man, you're a quarterback at Alabama, all right? Sooner or later, you got to take the training wheels off, buddy, all right? You got to be the guy everyone expects you to be. I'm not talking about going out here and throwing it 30 times a game. No, 17 to 22 attempts, for sure. Between that number, I think so. Some of those can be rollouts, but if Texas A&M, one, doesn't respect the deep ball, all right, doesn't respect the progressions, they're just going to sit on you the whole game. And I don't think Saban's going to let that happen.
See, that's what I'm glad I talked to you, because something tells me. I mean, the only thing, Blaine, the only reason why I'm going A&M, or would even remotely think about it, their 4 D linemen look like Ninja Turtles. They are going to get after your ass, bro. They got beat by Miami, but
Miami kicks their ass now.
They can kick ass, man.
The thing about it, I go back to that Miami game, dude. And I know Cristobal's known for upfront play. But, dog, that second half, Miami started whipping their ass up front. Whipping their ass up front. And I know it's a different team with Miami. You got Van Dyke. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Miami has better skill players than Alabama.
Oh, no question.
So, man, I wouldn't be surprised if this game's low scoring. But, Blake, I can't I'm not ready to get into the business of betting against Nick Saban.
What's going to happen if he loses, though? Either one of these coaches, either one. Do you know the melt that we have in store for us on Monday if either one of these two fan bases lose?
Oh God, I think it'll be worse for Jimbo.
I do too.
I think it'll be worse for Jimbo if they lose this game. What are you gonna say to Saban?
Right. I mean, he can do this and
say,
hush.
You forever. If you're a Bama fan, you should forever say thank you to Nick Saban. That's what I don't give a shit if they lose this game or not.
Hey, and there's some rumors out there in the ether that AJ Swan might hit the portal and go a little.
Really?
Yeah, some rumors, some deep message board rumors are starting to fill out there.
Diving deep in the rabbit hole, sir. I like
Deep
that.
in the rabbit hole. Hey, when the gummies may or may not kick in late at night, I start reading these conspiracy theories. Reddit, dude. Bro, Reddit? Oh my God.
I know, right? I know, right? Wow.
All right. Blain Crain and Company. Well, first off, I had Jake, I had Cone. I didn't tell you this. Congratulations on the 100K subscribers, dude.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
Awesome.
It's wild. It's wild.
I love it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You keep kicking ass too, man. I watch you every day, Blake. I tell you what, you from one, you can tell you played, right? You can tell you played.
Thank you.
Analysis and just the way you can mix jokes and be serious at the same time, dude. Keep blowing up, man. Don't forget about us little people now.
No, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Don't forget about us.
You're crazy.
You remember those days? We got to come back down there, man.
Gator.
Yes, we got to come back down, dude. I'm waiting on it.
I know. We'll talk soon, buddy. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, y'all. Y'all have a good day, Blake.
All right, that's Blain Crain and Company. That dude's the best. That dude's the best. I love him. I love him to death. Don't tell Jake or Cone. He's my favorite. Let's go to our good friends over at Bean. Good friend Steve Bean. Bayou Bowl and Daiquiri, Bayou Bowl to go. Let's talk about them. Zack Nagy, Sports Illustrated, joins us next. Bayou Daiquiris at Bayou Bowl and Go is owned and operated locally by Steve and Lisa Bean. You can find them at 1512 North Highway 190 in Covington, Louisiana. That's 1512 North Highway 190 in Covington. The North Shore's first crawfish drive-thru is about to step it up another notch by bringing you drive-thru daiquiris as well. You can call in your order today at 985-888-1914, 985-888-1914, because you know what? Daiquiris and crawfish, it's a Louisiana thing. LSU Country's Sports Illustrated Zone, Zack Nagy. Good evening, good sir. How are you?
Doing good. Hard to follow up Blain, man. He's a class act. He's fantastic.
Yeah, you gotta love him. You know what's interesting, Zach? Nobody gets to see when you do this or I do this, the relationships that you make in this business.
Oh yeah.
They just think people think that we're mythical sometimes.
You're right.
Hey, I'm a man. I have a full-grown beard.
Oh, yeah.
Name that movie. Are you too young?
I might be too young.
He's got a man. He's a Talladega Nights.
Oh, I'm not too young for that. I should know that.
Yeah, he's a man. He's got a beard.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Zack Nagy is joining us. I ask you this every Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Where does this defense go from here?
Look, dude, last week when we talked, you told me straight up. You were like, I'm worried. You told me. You said you were worried going into that Ole Miss game. So this is nothing that caught me by surprise. I mean, you told me, we talked about it. We dissected it. Where do we go from here? I mean, I can go in so many different directions. I'll start with that second level of defense, man. You got to keep Witt Weeks on the field. And at this point, it's a casual take. I mean, if you know ball, you're saying keep Witt on the field because every time he steps foot on the field, he's making a play. What do you have, 8 tackles and 8 snaps last weekend, hypothetically? But you got to keep Witt on the field, and you got to start experimenting a little bit more because you're not going to be able to work with what you got right now. You got to keep throwing Deshaun Womack, Witt Weeks, throw around some different things, throw some different schemes, and keep working on the fundamentals, man. Rome wasn't built in a day. Obviously, this group came into the season knowing that it was kind of going to be a struggle, and here we are, struggling to the greater heights than we thought it would be. So you just got to throw out a couple different things and see where you can go.
Zach, I've asked every guest that's been on this show this question. What is this? For everybody on the podcast, it's the photo I keep showing every guest. So this is our third one. You should know by now.
Talking about the defensive line, lining up.
Yeah, look how far off the ball they are. Look how far off the ball they are. I mean,
I can't explain it, dude. I don't even know where to go just because it just makes no sense to me. And I saw that post too. I've seen a couple people post this, and it's I have no explanation. I can't try to defend anybody. It's just what the hell? is happening in that locker room.
I think that they are trying to catch blocks on the D line and let the linebackers throw. I do think it's schematic. Okay. But the problem that I have with that is that Michael Baskerville with his speed is not walking through that door.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have the guy to save you at that level. What you tried to do. Okay. So here's the truth. All right. I have a theory that I've been sharing. I think the real reason that they moved Harold Perkins to their inside backer was because they realized to run that scheme, they don't have enough speed there, and they thought that Perk could do it. And when Perk's like, guys, I've never played this before, I don't know what to do, they got caught in a conundrum, and they couldn't get themselves out of it. That's a good white person word, conundrum. Good dictionary word, okay? But the problem is, at some point, BK's got to go up and say, listen, you're going to run this, this, and this. I'm going to tell you some things that you need to run. You got to figure it out this week. This is what we install. You run it. Or him getting hands-on. I know that that's that's a big take to have for you to answer, and I apologize. But that's got to happen.
Look, I hear where you're coming from, and there's kind of like mixed things about this whole Harold Perkins movement inside linebacker. Some people are saying it was his decision. Some are saying it was the coach's decision. So it's kind of like a mixed bag in that regard. But when it comes to a thing about speed,
to interrupt you really quick. They allow that though, regardless of.
And that's where I was going. I was going to say scheme. Like schematically, you can't allow that to happen. And if you do allow it to happen, you have to flip flop them all around the field and make some different things happen. Because lining them up specifically, exclusively at that second level is going to work out. And they've tried. I mean, do we want to give them a little bit of credit and just say, like, look, man, like they've tried to move them around, have them come off the edge and do what they got to do in that regard. But look, I can't sit here and defend it anymore. I can't. It's a mess, man. It's a complete mess.
So we have this super chat from Cody McGee with a $4.99 super chat. It says, "Add Zach, do you think it's time to give up on Matt House and hire a new DC? Maybe make a phone call or two to Jim Liddard. Who would be your five top choices?" Now, I do appreciate Cody for the super chat. You don't have to do that in this business. It's a big no-no, okay, to do that when someone is still technically employed. Don't answer that.
Look, what I am going to do,
question, but
I'm going to answer the first part.
Yeah, the first part.
Because I can't do the second one, but I'm going to answer the first part. Do I think it's time to give up on Matt House? Look, it's such a complex question just because there's so many different variables when it comes to, firing a head coach in, the second year on the job. And when I look at somebody like Matt House, look, schematically, there are things that are struggling. There are things that he needs to flip-flop and probably make things a little bit less complex just because, he's throwing a bunch of different things at these young guys and first-year guys who haven't, seen specifically what Matt House has seen. And then there's a talent level issue, man. And Blake, you and I have talked about this. That's secondary. You're throwing in some guys who haven't seen this level of football. And you started a true freshman in Ashton Stamps last week. And, you're starting some first-year Tigers, and it's not going accordingly. And Brian Kelly said that it was a red flag when you bring in so many first-year guys and expect the world out of them. He knew that this was going to happen, and it's happening. So to answer that question, is it time to give up on Matt House? Look, and I know I might catch some flack for it. Not yet. It's too soon. If the trends continue going in that direction, of course, yes. And then we can have that conversation about where do you go from here. But at this exact moment in time, man, I'm not ready to pull the plug on Matt House just yet.
The only thing I will say, okay, is I agree with you, but there comes a time where in the games leading in from last year, bleeding into these, I'm going to take the Mississippi State thing out. I take the Grambling thing out. I take Purdue out of this equation because I don't think it's fair to judge Matt House on Purdue or, honestly, Mississippi State or Grambling.
That's fair.
If you take those three out and you go from Texas A&M a year ago, they gave up 38 there. They gave up 50 to Georgia. They gave up 45 to Florida State.
Right.
They gave up 31 to Arkansas, and they gave up 55 this past week. At some point, when you have a 6-game sample size and you're giving up 42.5 points a game, some questions are going to have to be answered. That's
why the question presents itself. And look, like we've gotten this a million times. Like, do you kick Matt House to the curb and say, like, see ya and move on to the next and see what candidates you can work with in that perspective? Because, it's a real life thing. You're seeing fundamentally it's piss poor. Schematic, it's piss poor. Matt House isn't a bad coach. He's not a bad coach. He's not a horrible coach. There have been some questionable decisions, and when you pull up games from last year too and carrying it into this year, it raises a red flag certainly. But there's some things that talent fixes everything. They didn't kill the transfer portal like they thought. They weren't these immediate impact guys like they wanted. First year Tigers, not as many immediate impact guys. So there's some kinks that need to get worked out. But like I said, man, I don't know if I'm ready to pull that trigger just yet. What do you think? I mean, what's your kind of
I'm not going there yet. I'm not. We're not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
We're not there yet because things have to imagine. He says, Cody, you're good, buddy. He says, I apologize for the second question. Shouldn't have asked that question mark. It's a no in the media industry. You don't talk about the guy's replacement while he's still hired. He says, does BK just need to take over play calling?
No.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either. I think he needs to be involved like he was with special teams, halfway through the year, a year ago after Tennessee. But right. I do not think that he needs to be in play calling. I think he needs to be hands-on because, Zach, we hadn't talked about the offense yet, so we can do that next. Offensively, what's he going to tell Mike Denbrock and Jaden Daniels at this point?
Nothing.
He might teach them some things that Jaden's doing wrong, right? Like, hey, you need to get your technique work better here. You might need to do this. Okay, he can still do that during 7-on-7 and warm-ups.
Exactly.
Right? But when it's time to really get the nitty-gritty, okay, he can run all over the defense. I'm not telling him not to do that. He's got to do that, Zach.
Agreed. Completely agreed. And there's really no more for me to even elaborate on that. You're spot on. I mean, that's
what's crazy? We begged. Well, this is so wild. We begged and pleaded for Les and Orgeron to stop meddling.
Yeah. And now we're sitting here wanting BK to meddle. Yeah. Yeah.
How nuts is that?
You can never win. There's never a perfect
situation. It goes to show how good of a head coach he is.
It does.
Right. All right, Zack Nagy, LSU Country Sports Illustrated. Let's talk about the offense. So I asked Blain this, and I'll ask it to you. Do they need to slow down a little bit in reference to how quickly they're scoring to give this defense even the remote chance?
It's tough because, looking back at last week, Ole Miss just runs such a fire-powered offense too. You were just going. That game, dude, it was even hard to just do live updates because so many things were happening so quickly. That was insanity.
Zach, I tweet. I don't know if you know. I tweet every play.
Yeah, no, I'm well aware. And when you're moving at such a fast pace like that, it's impossible to keep up. And we're just sitting up there what the hell is going on? But to answer your question and just keep it like that, no. I mean, my answer to that would be no. You can't switch up everything that you're doing on offense because you're running a picturesque. It's a picturesque offense, man. You're getting it.
It would be criminal to Jaden.
You can't do that to somebody like Jaden who works so fast. The receivers are prepared for it as well. Logan Diggs is coming into his own. You can't switch up something that's working like a well-oiled machine just to kind of allow a different facet of the game to improve in that regard. So no, the answer would be no, man. You can't slow that shit down.
But see, here's the thing though. The only thing that I would say, people are mad about the third down rollout play call, guys, they're trying to get the ball to Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
The play call is not the issue. The execution was. If he throws that to – let's call it what it is. If he throws it to Malik, we get the first down ball game. Okay?
Yeah.
But –
Jaden mentioned that yesterday too when we talked to him.
What did he say?
Just saying, look, in a different context, it was kind of we had the ball with X amount of time left, and if we would have executed in these types of plays, they wouldn't even have the opportunity to get the ball back type of thing.
But – see, here's the problem that I have with that. Number one, Jaden's line in this regard. Kyron Lacey had a pick play on that. That was going to be thrown. So if you go back and watch, and I know that there was a massive debate on Twitter with me and Mic'd Up and all the fans or whatever.
I saw that.
The referee is about to throw the flag if he throws it, and he knows it. He's lying. I mean, he's not a liar. He's protecting. Let me not say he's lying. He's protecting. Okay, because he knows he saw what he saw, and then he was about to throw the flag if he didn't run.
Yeah.
Why else would he tuck it?
Yeah.
I mean, he tucked it, so it is what it is. Anything else offensively, Zach, before we let you out of here? Anything else that you're seeing that you really like? I mean, God, my blessed Jesus Christ, Logan Diggs, my goodness.
Yeah, and that's the exact path that I was going to kind of go down. Is like you're providing this balanced offensive attack with Jaden Daniels, and emphasis on Jaden Daniels here. Look, dude, like when you and I spoke during fall ball, it was we had boxes that we wanted to see checked from Jaden Daniels: intermediate throws, deep balls, a balanced attack with his legs and arm, trusting his arm, not playing hero ball all the time. Every box that we had for Jaden Daniels, he's checked off every single one. So I'm going to start off with that just because he's doing everything beautifully. Jaden Daniels is playing phenomenal football. There is I can't even think of anything. Of course, if I nitpicked, I could find something, but there's just nothing that I'm seeing from Jaden that's a struggle. And then you add in the rushing attack from Logan Diggs now. I mean, your passing game is phenomenal with Brian and Malik. And then you add in this new element of Logan Diggs, who's just cutting up on a routine basis. I mean, dude, your offense is something special. And if there's something that's standing out to me and something that I'm enjoying to see so much, it's to see Logan Diggs rep the purple and gold, be back in Louisiana, represent his home state, and cook on a routine basis, man. He's doing everything that he needed to do. He's doing everything that he was asked of. You know, he came here, Brian Kelly brought him back and wanted him to do X number of things, and he's doing it. He's getting in a groove. So, yeah, if I'm finding one thing, it's Logan Diggs, man. He's doing his thing.
That's why I never worry about LSU and recruiting.
Yep.
Everybody's like, they're 10. Okay. There are some position groups you got to get better at. D-line. I get it.
Secondary.
But I don't follow them often, but On 3 said 8 blue chip recruits on offense, 8 blue chip recruits on defense.
Mm-hmm.
They're tied for second in both.
Right.
But they're 10. Okay. So there comes a point where you think he's like the 3 stars that are on this in this recruiting cycle are not 3 stars.
Yeah. I mean,
ask Logan Diggs, ask Malik. I mean, Malik was the 3-star all the way through. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We're gonna have to sit and talk about recruit. You're gonna have to get me on one day and we'll talk some recruiting because I got a couple of I got some things I got to say about that 2024 class and kind of what they're about to do. But
I agree, man. It's scary good.
Some things are gonna happen, and really, when you're looking at, I mean, stars matter to a degree, but look, like
Ashton Stamps, Kai Bates and Andre Evans,
Kai Bates, man,
Deshaun McBride, like
Deshaun McBride is the one.
Yeah, I mean, well, never mind. Deshaun McBride, dude, he's a dude. All right, last one before I get you out of here. I am of the opinion Pete Jenkins doesn't fix a whole hell of a lot through 1 week.
Look, you're not wrong.
He teach some technique. What did Jamar Cain not teach that these guys wouldn't know?
Yeah. Look, like I'm not gonna debate that at all. We talked to Mekhi Wingo last night, and it was kind of this thing where it was the first day on the job. Like Pete came in yesterday, and he got in the locker room, he got in their faces, talked to him yesterday, and talked about how he's energetic for an old guy. I mean, he's 82 damn years old, man. Like he's old as shit. But he knows the game. Like he's a bright guy. He's done everything that he needs to do. So Mekhi was really just talking about how the little things, just the small things, is what he's going to be able to help them do. But to what you're saying, is he the answer to their prayers? I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure he's the answer.
82.
He's old as hell.
He's not calling a defense. He's not in the box for all 60 minutes.
Yeah. So is he the answer? Probably not. Can he help a little bit? Sure.
I agree. All right, Zack Nagy, you've been fantastic, man, as always. Thank you so much for joining us.
My guy. We'll do it again.
All right, that's Zack Nagy from LSU Country. Y'all follow him on Twitter at ZNaggy20. All right. We've gone 12 minutes over. We got to get out of here. I hear my wife already calling me. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.